Hey, it's Sam, and I'm talking about the new moon in Virgo that's happening today, early on the 24th of September. Now, we have the new moon cycle that's starting in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and it's the sign of details and focusing on the details of the world and wanting to have those details organized correctly and put things in the proper category so that we understand why we're here. That's really the biggest universal lesson of Virgo. We tend to focus on the sort of worldly expression of things, especially in the Western culture, about organizing everything and cleaning your closets and being a little anal retentive about every little detail. And of course, those things are definitely possible, and especially, the sacred part of Virgo is to make sure everything is in place, not only in the physical world, but also emotionally and psychologically, having precision and skill with every little emotional interpretation, which is hard, and then also on a higher cosmic level, which is where we organize all of the information that we have, including the things that can't be measured by our intellect, and put them in the proper category. It's called discrimination. So really the highest quality of Mercury operates through Virgo. Mercury is also very powerful as the ruler of Gemini, which is very fast, the speed and the genius of the mind to handle a lot of data and to communicate it. But Virgo is where, for instance, where Mercury is exalted. So the highest culminating quality of Mercury is seen through Virgo, which is to slow down. It's earth, it's more practical, more tangible and rational, and to apply the information that we gathered and put it in the right place, to slow down, to introspect, and organize all of the details into a structure that becomes sort of like stepping stones. You can literally think of like building a pyramid, and how, for instance, when you see the Mayan pyramids, they have stones where you can actually walk up them. And imagine with Virgo, each little brick that forms the pyramid of, virtue and habit and routine that leads to your salvation. Imagine walking up that pyramid of truth. Again, one of the most important things with Mercury as ruler of Virgo and the highest quality of Virgo is questioning our ideas. We just have ideas and they just blather out and they just kind of fly all over the place, and we don't have discrimination about what we say, what we say and what we communicate, values other people or values ourselves or values the truth, especially when we get in these ultimate states of existence, like as it relates to learning higher principles like astrology and Vedanta, and these situations where we try to connect with ultimate questions through the limited intellect. I deal with this a lot with astrology students who, try to take on abstract conceptual ideas, which has to do with Jupiter, and especially, like the opposite of Virgo, which is Pisces, is very abstract, and we get on a very kind of high, ultimate abstract level with Pisces stuff, for instance, things like karma and free will, and how does it all work? And then we take this abstract ultimate question, and then we have to bring it down into the Virgo area of life, and we get into these kind of polarizing, this sort of polarization about an abstract concept through the micro focus of Virgo. And it's like, okay, so are we just here, so there's karma and free will, and so we have our karma, but we have to do everything we can, which is our free will, and the intellect grapples with trying to fit abstraction into specificity. Really, one of the highest qualities of Virgo is seeing through the bias that, okay, so I have my karma, and then there's also my free will. Right away, there should be alarms sounding. First of all, who am I? If I'm saying that I'm this limited creature, and I'm trying to fit me, this separate self, into this large abstract concept, right away I need to have discrimination about that and say, maybe I need to extend what I am, as an example. So again, this is a very high leverage Virgo Mercury principle. One of the reasons why people grapple with ultimate questions is because they are trying to explain ultimate questions through a limited understanding, a limited framework, the limited nature of the world. It doesn't mean we can't. It just means first we need to understand that on the highest level, the problem with karma is not that it's anything bad or wrong. It just means actions, the actions we've taken and the result that happens. And we also know that when we read scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita and whatnot, the problem isn't the action, the problem is attachment to the fruits of the action. And again, the reason there's a problem with that is because we're not just this limited being. All those fruits to the actions are just going to change and be taken away at the end. And the problem is we don't know the nature of the self, and we think the self is this limited creature who then is focused on a limited outcome. When he gets it, it's good. When he doesn't, it's bad. And this is the problem. So again, a very high leverage principle of Virgo is to go upstream for your answers and try to unite the Virgo specificity with the Pisces abstraction. And this is really about the kind of shadow of the opposite. Virgo is like where the sun is right now, and sun and moon come together in Virgo, shining the light. But the shadow of Virgo is Pisces, which is this illusion of the answer that seems to always escape, that Virgo seems to always be looking for. So integration of the Pisces shadow, you might say. I try to avoid this language because this kind of Jungian, I don't want to be another kind of pseudo-Jungian expert here. I'm not. But I'm saying the opposite always needs to be integrated in the primary. So with the sun and moon coming together in Virgo, we need to really look at these things. And what do we really know? How much precision do we really have with what we know already, this illusion of understanding? How much is the abstract integrated with the known and the details? Big stuff. So, you know, in relation to that, we still have an exalted Jupiter in Cancer, which brings this abstract, this abstract connection is very powerful. We also have an exalted Saturn still, which gives a lot of focus and commitment. And we also have Mars in Scorpio, which gives a lot of discipline and strength and courage. These are all backstories. The other thing that's important is Mercury's about to go retrograde, and that Mercury shadow, I think, is very important. Those shadow phases of the planets that go retrograde is important, which means Mercury's going to cover the same territory he's in 3 times. So this section of the sky right now is very important. And so by the end of this Virgo cycle, Mercury will go retrograde. So it's, we're about to get a lot of exposition on these issues right now. So pay a lot of attention to what you think you know and how much it's actually integrated with ultimate knowledge, ultimate wisdom, because that's going to show how much you ultimately know. Now the nakshatra is Uttar Falguni, which is the marriage star, and the god is called Aryaman, who is the god of friendship and contracts. He's actually part of the sort of dual relationship with the god Mitra. Mitra is the god of friendship. Aryaman is the god of contracts, but of course contracts also imply amity and friendship and concord. So this is why, good contracts have a quality of friendship to them and whatnot. So it's also called the marriage star, which of course it's good to be married to your friend or to have an ease of communication with them. So these are very important things for the next month or so with this new moon. The new moon is where sun and moon come together, and it starts the cycle. So we're starting the Virgo cycle. And so very important things around discrimination and honing your discrimination and having detachment, which means, again, not being so attached to the outcome. This is the big, sort of currency of Virgo, and this allows us to build like a pyramid of virtue through which the soul can ascend and really understand our place in the cosmos and integrate our beliefs with our tangible reality here on earth, because we tend to be polarized around this. Well, I believe this, but I don't really know how it works. This Virgo-Pisces axis is very good for that. So if you want to see how this affects your sign, you can also check that out for 1 penny and also get daily forecasts at my member site. So you can check that out as well. I hope things are going well for you. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this.